You're village
You could
attorney.
be-
Sit down, sit down, sit down.
Could be
Yeah.
a part of it.
So,
Like for the history museum.
Wayne's greatest hits are special requests, so. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Lower the mics.
Drop the mic.
Wayne, lower your mic.
Well, and with that, ready to set, go? All right, it's, time is 7 p.m. We'll call this meeting to order. Everyone, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Della Penna,
Here.
Damke,
Here.
trustee Forsythe,
Here.
trustee Lanisa. Here. Trustee Prokowski,
Here.
trustee Trejo.
Here.
And we have a quorum. We'll continue on our presentation of the prepared agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Move. Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries. Move on to Village Board public comment. Anyone wish to provide a comment on a topic or an agenda item may address the Village Board in person during the public comment and public hearing segments of the Village Board agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. In addition, the Village Board passed the Civility Pledge, which states, in the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective. With that being said, Madam Clerk, did you receive any witness slips in advance of the meeting? All right. Is there any member of the public here today that wishes to address the board? Yep, sir, if you just approach the podium, please state your name for the record. Oh,
I live at 15 West Granville. My name is Dan Jerzak, and I've been a resident here for 32 years, and I've never been here to address anybody, but
you chose a good night. We have cupcakes, so.
the reason I'm here is I'm here to bring some common sense to government.
Okay.
I'm a 32-year resident who brought a brick ranch home with a vacated alleyway as a driveway. And it's time for new asphalt. And the village told me I had to move my driveway another foot to make, there's a 2-foot rule now, instead of the one when it would have happened 30-some years ago. And they want me to move it 1 foot closer to the house. I just want things to stay the same. Most of the block gets a buy because of the placement of their driveway with the house. There's even one house where driveways are up to the lot line together because they've got both driveways right next on the same side. I have got the only garage that doesn't face the street. I have to hard right. When I go down my driveway, I have to hard right all the way as far left as I can go and hard right into the garage. And I have to watch my fender as I'm going to the garage doorway. So I don't even trust anybody driving my car to park it. The only person impacted with this is me. It's next door to me is a drain ditch. You want me to make a documentary with pictures, drawings, an impact statement, and a public hearing. I own a mid-sized car. If I owned an SUV, it'd be even worse. Being that I could see the 2-foot rule for new construction, but these 50-year-old homes, they didn't deal with that. And I don't think I'm being unreasonable. I just want to keep what I have. And you get to save some money when I'm not putting a new curb in. Utilities still use my driveway for cable and electric. Please just grant me this permit, and because I'm not hurting anybody else. I'm the only who's impacted besides me.
Okay, thank you so much. The village board does not issue permits and can't really weigh in on this. Could the, yep, correct. But so our ordinances are packed and we have to enforce those across the board.
The village attorney's right here.
Yep,
I
absolutely.
have the right to keep what I have as long as it doesn't impact anybody else.
Yeah,
We
I
have to
think
follow the code.
if you can provide your contact information, we also have a short board meeting tonight. So if you're willing to stick around, we can probably have a conversation after the meeting. So, but we appreciate you bringing this to our attention. So if you want to give the village administrator your contact information, if you can't stay, otherwise it should be a very brief meeting. So. Thank you. Is there any other member of the public that wishes to address the board at this time? Seeing none, we'll continue on to officials and staff reports. So under my report, I just want to welcome everyone to the next session of the village board. So we haven't had a whole lot of change, but I do want to welcome officially our new village clerk. Jennifer, we're looking forward to working with you over the next 4 years. So we had our swearing in earlier for those of you that were here for it. Otherwise, that's why we're a little bit more dressed up than our typical state. On our first thing I have for consideration from the board is approving a proclamation recognizing Motorcycle Awareness Month. And so I'll just read this briefly and then we'll do a presentation. Whereas safety is the highest priority for the highways and streets of our village and state, and whereas the state of Illinois is proud to be a national leader in motorcycle safety, education, and awareness, and whereas motorcycles are a primary common and economical means of transportation that reduce fuel consumption and road wear and contribute in a significant way to the relief of traffic and parking congestion. And whereas it's important that the citizens of the Village of Roselle be aware of motorcycles on the roadways and recognize the importance of motorcycle safety. And whereas the members of the Abate of Illinois Incorporated continually volunteer and promote motorcycle safety, education, and awareness in high school driver education programs into the general public in our village and the state, presenting motorcycle awareness programs to over 120,000 participants in Illinois over the past 9 years, whereas all motorcyclists should join Abate of Illinois Incorporated in actively promoting the safe operation of motorcycles, as well as promoting motorcycle safety, awareness, and respect of the citizens of our village and state. So therefore, let it be resolved that the Village Board of Trustees do hereby proclaim May 2025 Motorcycle Awareness Month and urge all motorists to join the effort to improve safety and awareness on our roadways. So is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And that motion carries. If the representatives would like to come up, I'd like to present this with you.
Well, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to recognize Abate of Illinois, and we're members of Duquesne Abate representing DuPage and Kane County. I've been
Thank you.
a member for quite a few years, and if you noticed on my back, I was also Legislator of the Year for Abate in 2009. And the reason being is that we pay fees for our licenses that go into a fund that goes to training. And every so often, the state, which you may know, likes to take funds and move them. And so 2009, I was there to protect it from the sweeps, and apparently it's happening again. So we have 2 legislators, one in the House, one in the Senate, taking care of the legislation to stop that. Senator Lewis, who represents Roselle, passed it in the Senate. And so now those have switched houses, and hopefully they'll get them passed and moved on to the governor. Steve here is a trainer for motorcycle safety. They did over 5,000 students last year. We're the #1 trainer in the state, and that helps drivers out there, especially new drivers, understand it's hard to see motorcycles, so they got to be paying attention, put down the phones, stop texting, and pay attention to driving. So appreciate all your help. Steve, a few words?
Randy's point, we do go around, we are the #1 in the state. We've really tried to grow that, and there's a couple other folks that help me out doing this kind of thing. So if anybody out there has an event coming up in Roselle or any high school students that aren't getting this kind of training in your schools, certainly contact us. We do go to different events over the DuPage County Police Department last year, and we've done some other things like that. So we want to get out in front of the public. We want to make people aware that we're out there, because It is the fastest growing thing. There are over 8.6 million licensed motorcycle operators in the United States. And more people ship to it. As economics get higher, the cost of fuel gets higher, prices of cars go up. You can buy a motorcycle brand new for less than $10,000. People start to gravitate to those. So you're going to see more and more people out there. More and more ladies are riding. And again, we want to educate people that we're out there and that they pay attention to us on the road and we don't have tragedies, because 80% of the time in an accident with a motorcycle, 80% of the time the person riding on that or driving that motorcycle seriously injured or killed. We lost 160 people in the state last year. We've already lost 16 people this year. So that's 16 folks that aren't going home to a family. So we appreciate your support and we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Important issue, so hopefully everyone takes it to heart at home. And let's not confuse motorcycles for e-bikes, which is another hot topic out there and whatnot. So what we like about motorcycle drivers is they're well educated and they follow the rules of the road, unlike our e-bike drivers. So thank you so much for coming out tonight.
David, are they going to be in our Rose Parade?
I don't know if you guys want to, by all means. All right, we'll get you.
Chamber, yeah.
We'll get you in contact with the Chamber of Commerce. So.
You can wear two hats, that's right.
And with that being said, I want to also take time to recognize a distinct honor. So our intern that we've had over the past couple of years graduated from his Master's of Public Administration program from Northern Illinois University. So congratulations to Micah. If you're still watching our meetings, I hope you have other things to do nowadays. But if not, we do want to congratulate you. A big congratulations though to our administration department, because they were also recognized this year by NIU as an Internship Site Excellence Award recipient because of our outstanding mentorship of our interns. So congratulations to Jason, to Brian. I know you guys have poured a whole lot of energy into this program and whatnot. You both are products of that. So we appreciate you supporting it and giving us a positive reputation at a great feeder school for this business. And also thank you to all of our village staff that helped, because I know he was hands-on in a lot of projects across the board. So congratulations, and thank you for getting us some more hardware for the shelves. And fittingly with that, I'd also like to ask the board to entertain a motion to confirm the appointment of Jason Belowski as village administrator and approve and the approval and the authorization of an employment agreement between the Village of Roselle and the village administrator.
Moved.
There's a second?
Second.
Any discussion? That being said, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Domke,
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe,
Aye.
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa,
Aye.
Trustee Della Penna,
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
That motion carries. The final thing I'll just remind everyone is our next meeting would happen to fall on Memorial Day. So it seems fitting that we'd push it out to Tuesday, the 27th. So just keep that in mind for those of you who do attend these regularly, that we will be meeting on a slightly different date for our next meeting. That being said, that's finally all I have for my report. So is there any village trustees that have a report tonight? Seeing none, village clerk,
No report.
village attorney,
No report.
village administrator.
I just want to take the moment to thank the village board for your continued trust in me in my reappointment tonight. I truly appreciate the opportunity serving as village administrator and look forward to our continuing work together. And to use the mayor's words, the management team and I are buckled up and ready to go for what's ahead. So thank you.
All right. We'll move on to unfinished business. First, we have the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine, procedural, informational, self-explanatory, or non-controversial in nature, and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items unless removed from the consent agenda. Are there any items you remove from the consent agenda tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on. So we have presentation approval of the village board minutes of April 28th, 2025. Adopt a resolution approving it and authorizing the execution of agreement between the Village of Roselle and Gezvada and Associates Incorporated. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Could we have a roll call, please?
Aye.
Della Penna,
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa,
Aye.
Trustee Domke,
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe,
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski.
Aye.
That motion carries. We'll move on to our other items under development and engineering services. Trustee Forsythe.
Thank you, Mayor Pileski. I would like to move adoption. I would like to adopt a resolution approving and authorizing the purchase of lighting for the municipal campus Phase 2 improvement project in the amount not to exceed $214,169.
Second. Thank you. Any discussion? Just note we're using this opportunity to draw down the funds from our congressional grant so that way we can get the money while the money still exists in the account from the Fed. That being the case, could we have a roll call, please?
Forsythe,
Aye.
Trustee Prokowski,
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa,
Aye.
Trustee Della Penna,
Aye.
Trustee Domke,
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
That motion carries.
I would like to move adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 4 for the municipal campus improvements between the Village of Roselle and Landmark Contractors for the additional work in the amount of $26,082.30.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Forsythe,
Aye.
Kirkowski,
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa,
Aye.
Trustee Della Penna,
Aye.
Trustee Domke,
Aye.
Trejo.
Aye.
That motion carries.
I would also like to move adoption of a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract for the Plum Grove Road Bridge Rehabilitation Project between the Village of Roselle and Roche Infrastructure in the amount of $748,488.50.
Thank you for the second. Is there any discussion? And I want to go out and venture, is this the most expensive per foot road that we have to resurface in the Village of Roselle?
I would say without a doubt, yes.
And so, and I don't do this just to make a point, but for that same amount of money, how many normal linear feet or miles of street could we resurface for that amount?
We could probably resurface close to a mile of regular roadway for that
I
amount.
suppose a couple hundred feet, if that. So yeah, I mean, this is an important project. This deterioration is quite stark, and these overpasses over the highway make our lives a lot easier. I know I frequent it quite a bit, but they come at a steep cost. So I'm glad that we had the opportunity to plan appropriately for it. While it's a little bit higher than we expected, it's still within reason, and we can absorb that given our home rule status and our additional funds we received that way. So, any other comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Forsythe,
Aye.
Kirkowski,
Aye.
Trustee Lanisa,
Aye.
Trustee Della Penna,
Aye.
Trustee Domke,
Aye.
Trejo.
Aye.
That motion carries.
And last, I would like to adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a professional engineering services contract for the Plum Grove Road Bridge Rehabilitation Project Construction Engineering with Civil Tech Engineering, Inc. in the amount of $84,156.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Forsythe,
Aye.
Kirkowski,
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Della Penna,
Aye.
Trustee Domke,
Aye.
Trustee Trejo.
Aye.
That motion carries.
And that is all I have for tonight.
Aren't you glad you're Des, Chair? More to come. Under administration tonight, we have nothing. Fire, police, public works, but finance, trustee Lanisa.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like to make a motion to approve the accounts payable list for May 12th, 2025 in the amount of $1,850,029.45.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, can we have a roll call?
Trustee Lanisa,
Aye.
Trustee Forsythe,
Aye.
Della Penna,
Aye.
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
Trustee Kirkowski,
Aye.
Trustee Domke.
Aye.
That motion carries. For the first time in a long time, if not ever, since the last 4 years, we have nothing under new business tonight for discussion. But I know we are trying to tee up some things, especially regarding e-bikes, hopefully for our next meeting to discuss, which I know the community is engaging in a lot of public discourse and debate on. So, but more to come. We do have a second opportunity for village board public comment. So does anyone wish to address the board at this time again? Record show none. Is there any other business? Trustee Domke.
Well, I'd just like to propose to the board to consider maybe having summer hours for the board meetings and start at 6:30 for June and July and August. But, you know, that's the consensus of the board. We tried it once before, and if anybody has trouble getting here by 6:30, then we just won't do it.
Yeah. Initially, just looking at the board, is there any objection to that?
Not for me, no.
Okay, we'll send out something formally. Oh, was that a? Oh, prefer not to? Okay, we'll work on sending something formally out a little bit here and see what we can do. Maybe we can do some one night every month or whatnot. So, but we'll discuss that offline, but I appreciate you bringing that up. With that being said, is there a motion to adjourn?
Moved. Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Meeting is adjourned at 7:19.